Hello everyone, so today I will be reviewing It's a Wonderful Life. So It's a Wonderful Life was directed by Frank Capra and stars James Stewart, Donna and Lionel Barrymore, and it's often regarded as one of the greatest Christmas films of all time. It's traditional viewing around Christmas time all over the world and has since been regarded as a classic. So interestingly enough, when this film came out, it was not a box office success. It wasn't a particularly successful film, but later on the film went into the public domain, which meant that TV stations could air it for free, and then it since became very popular around Christmas time and then regarded as a classic afterwards. So in this film, we really focused on James Stewart's character, who is George Bailey, and we see George Bailey through different stages of his life, when he's a little boy up to when he's an adult in his 30s. And George Bailey is a very ambitious man. He really wants to go exploring the world and doing lots of traveling, but unfortunately he's not able to do that because he's taken over his dad's business, which is a building and loan company, and he really feels trapped basically. So throughout the film we see his friends from high school and his brother as well. They all go out exploring or having fancy jobs and doing all these interesting things and exploring the world. But George can't do that because he has to look after his dad's old business, and all his time and money is basically going into this business doing this. And he looks at his life and he feels like he hasn't done what he has wanted to. He hasn't achieved what he has wanted to out of his life, even though he does have a nice wife and kids and a family. He even actually had to postpone his honeymoon, or actually cancel his honeymoon altogether, because of the work in the business, because the business was about to go into trouble, so he had to help out with that. Now, the main villain of this film is a very good one. His name is Mr. Potter, played by Lionel Barrymore, and he is someone who was working with George's dad at the time. He's a member of the board at the bank, and he's a very villainous man. So he's all about money and power, Mr. Potter, and he owns lots of things in the town, but what he really wants to own is the Bailey's Building and Loan Company, which George works for. And throughout this film, we see Mr. Potter try to take control of this company, but George doesn't let him, even though George might be better off eventually if he does actually let him have it. So the real theme of this film, I think, is about appreciating what you have and realizing that if you keep focusing on what you don't have and you keep thinking that your life could be better, you're never going to be truly happy. I mean, sometimes it's good to be ambitious, good to have dreams, obviously, but when that's all you're focusing on, then you're not actually focusing what's in front of you right now and the life that you have and the people that are in your lives, then if you're not focusing on that element of it, then you're not going to be happy. Now, my personal experience with this film is that I'd only seen it once before, which was quite a long time ago, and I enjoyed it very much. I thought it was a very nice film, and the second time I watched it was a couple of days ago, and I enjoyed it a lot more. I thought it was very good, and it really sort of it made me think a lot more. It's a very thought-provoking film. And interesting enough, the American Film Institute actually named it as #1 on the most inspiring films of all time, which is a list I think they did back in the 2000s. So anyway, it's certainly regarded as a very inspiring film, and I can certainly see why. It's certainly a film which speaks to a lot of people, I think, and I think a lot of people could learn from this film. I think it gives a very good message, a very positive message, like other films as well. But I think this film was very different to a lot of other films because it is quite an old film. Obviously, it came out back in 1946, but I don't think that it feels very dated. In my opinion, it still speaks to a modern audience. I still think a lot of people today can relate to this film. I think it's why it's often regarded as a Christmas classic, and some people think it's the best Christmas film of all time, and I certainly do. To be honest, I'd probably say this is the greatest Christmas film of all time, and yeah, that's probably why it's so popular, because it speaks to a lot of people. So if I was to say in terms of what I don't like about this film, I can't actually think of anything, to be honest. I think it is such a fantastic film. I don't really think it has many negative points at all. I should also mention the character Clarence Oddbody, who is the guardian angel in this film, is played by Henry Travers. And we only really see him properly towards the end, but there's some great scenes in the film towards the end where Clarence is showing George what his life would be like if he hadn't been born, and that is essentially what it is. So George Bailey is thinking of committing suicide towards the end of this film because he's so unhappy with his life and things are going wrong. He's lost $8,000, which obviously was a lot more money back then, and it means that he's worried that the Baileys building their own business is going to be in trouble and going to go bust. So guardian angel Clarence comes down and shows him what life would be like if he hadn't been born, and George realises all the people's lives he had touched and what a difference he has actually made to the town and the world and the people around him. And we get lots of different scenes where we see the town, what the town would be like if George wasn't born it, and it's a very different vision. We get lots of different scenes, and then there's that classic line at the end, every time a bell rings an angel gets his wings, which is reference to Clarence the angel. Obviously he hadn't got his wings yet, but he gets his wings once he helps somebody out, and he does that very well towards the end of the film with George. So yeah, It's a Wonderful Life is a fantastic film. Everybody can enjoy it. It's a really good fun film, and I'm actually going to give it a rating of 10 out of 10 because I think it's absolutely perfect, and I think everybody can enjoy it all around the world, no matter what age you are. It's a good family film, an absolute classic, brilliant film, love it. So It's a Wonderful Life. So there we go. So have you guys seen it? What do you think? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Please let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are on It's a Wonderful Life. So anyway, thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.